welcome to another edition of the Normal America Show. Your intrepid host, robnoerr. I'm all powered up. I had yesterday off, so I'm just rearing to go. I got a great show for you tonight. Of course, the Normal America Show, as you know, the number one show online for Brian Shapiro memes, political debates, and giving a voice to proud black women. And I'm happy to do all three. So sometimes we focus on one or another, but tonight we know where our bread's buttered here in the Normal America Show. Proud black women. Speaking now, we will read another excerpt from the hit book. I don't know if it won a Pulitzer yet. I'm Speaking Now. Black women share their truth on 101 stories of love, courage, and hope. I can't wait. I really can't wait. I think it's going to be a fantastic show. Now, I also have a surprise for you. So, I don't do this a lot, but I'm going to be grifting heavy today. But we'll save that for later in the show. But I'm going to need your money, as I'll explain. There's a reason, though. It's not just flippant, I'm a greedy fat asshole, which is true. But this is actually for a purpose. And so we'll get to that. I think you all agree with me. It is a noble cause. So it's great to see you all, though. I hope you had a fantastic weekend. Mother's Day. Yesterday, I went out with my brother, who's in the chat, my wife, my son, and my mom and dad. I had a great time. Good stuff. And then today, I went to my wife's mom's place and also had a good time. My son made the dessert called dirt. Has anyone ever had the dessert called dirt? And no, whoever the smartass is like, yeah, you just go out in your yard. No, it's not that dirt. It's a different dirt. Has anyone ever had that dessert? So basically, it's like it's like sort of like a chocolate pudding mix. My wife makes it like chocolate pie filling. And then you put Oreos, you crush Oreos up so it looks like dirt on top of it. And then you put the gummy worms. So my son is always excited because he gets to swing the like kitchen hammer and smash the Oreos, which is awesome. And then he spelled his name out, Hank, in gummy worms on top of the dirt. It's good stuff. It was a big hit. It was a big hit at the dinner tonight, the Mother's Day dinner. Good stuff. So he was very excited. He's bummed out he's got to go back to school tomorrow. But no, it was a very good day. I always enjoy hanging out with the family, so couldn't be happier with that. Also happy to get back here streaming. And I play some video games from time to time. Not all that often. So let me show you what I got. I got Switch that I play baseball on. That's about it. And then if I'm super bored, I'll come out and play some like one-player games on the computer. So I have a PC and I have Steam. So I basically just play games through Steam. And I have this. Now I bought this, 7 years ago? Maybe longer than 7 years ago. And it's an off-brand Power A Xbox control. I believe for the Xbox 360. So I hook it up with this wire here to the computer. Now, as you can see, it's classic Xbox controller shape, even though it's the knockoff brand. This joystick right here, the one you'd normally use the most for like moving, when I hit it in the up direction, it barely works anymore. Now, I don't know. There may be a way to like unscrew the controller and fix it, but it's been increasingly annoying the piss out of me. And so I'm always like, for like 6 months now, it's been getting worse and worse. And I'm like, when I go out to like Walmart or something, I'll just find a cheap control. And I never remember. Ever. Right? So I'm like, now, Today I was like, we got back from Mother's Day and my son went to bed. My wife was going and reading a book. So I came upstairs here and I realized something. I actually have a replacement controller in the house. And it is for the new, we got my son a Switch 2, and it came with the regular Switch 2 and then two of the extra paddles, but it also came with two of these controls. Look at that bad boy. And yeah, I plugged it in, it just worked fine. So how about that? Problem solved. She was reading I'm Speaking Now. She bought. I'll have more to say about my wife and I'm Speaking Now in the coming up here. There, believe it or not, there is a story. So, yeah, my day's going good. New control. It was already laying around in the house. We've never used it for the Switch. So, yeah. How about that? So someday if I play Halo or something with a bunch of you guys, I can't bitch about the control. Because I would have bitched about it, but now you know. It's not the control, it's user error. Yeah, T Corbett, I see you over there on Rumble. That's what I was gonna do. I figured you could just order one of those off-brand Xbox controls on like Amazon or something, probably get it for like 20 or 30 bucks. I do plug in the wire though. Actually, the PC I'm running doesn't even have Wi-Fi. I could hook up a thing for like a Wi-Fi receiver or a Bluetooth receiver, but the way I built it, it didn't have it. So, speaking of computers, I talked to Avarice, and he claims that the computer he has been building for me will be sent this week, which is good news. In addition, we're going to start up. I'm recommitting to trying to put more time into the channel. I finally got more time. I got some stuff settled here at home. And so we're going to try our first call-in show in quite some time on Tuesday. I'll explain tomorrow more about that, but suffice it to say, we're going to start it on YouTube and on Rumble, and then we're going to migrate it to Rumble exclusive because there are trolls that are trying to get my channel banned. Get a $250 Elite control. Oh, wow. I don't think I game it. I think if you're gaming online, it's different. Like, because I think then really you want to make sure that you have the top line shit. Like the top line headphones, so you could, if you're playing Call of Duty, so you could hear the person walking up behind you, or the control that's got like the most rapid response. For the sake of what I'm doing, like I'll play some role playing game. I was playing the game earlier today with mixed results. It's called Midnight Suns. Has anyone played it? It's like, so there's these games I like called XCOM, which is sort of like aliens invade, and then you got to build like a base and soldiers to fight back against these aliens. The company that made that game made this game called Midnight Suns, and it's Marvel, but it's sort of like XCOM. So it's like, it's one of those, I don't particularly like this, but instead of like having like skills and attacks, you get cards that have your skills and attacks, but it's not that bad. The only thing, so the game's fine. I'm having fun with it, and I got it for sale for like $10 on Steam. I was like, screw it. It's not bad. I recommend it. The only thing is, and a lot of games do this now, and it has the opposite effect on me. They'll have like these games that are like huge with all these secrets. Collect, I remember way back in the day playing Arkham Asylum, and it's like, collect all the Riddler puzzles. And I was like, it sounds like a huge pain in the ass. But then I'm like a weird person, and I'm like, I don't know. If I'm not going to do that, then I might as well not play the game and beat it, even though it's obvious that you could beat the game without doing all the side shit. So I don't know. I always struggle with it. This game, Midnight Suns, yeah, it's definitely the $70 one on Xbox. It was like 90% off on PC for Steam. Anyways, there's like you're doing the fighting. The fighting's fine. I enjoy it. I think it's fun. But then in between the missions, you got like a base, and there's like a big forest around it and shit. And walk around the base and find all the bullshit. But there's not even like fighting while you're walking around the base. It's just boring as shit. So earlier, I spent like an hour just walking around looking for bullshit like mushrooms and shit. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? This is so boring. It's just, you feel like it's just work. It's like, who the fuck wants to do this? It's just a game that, like, at least, okay, like Elden Ring. At least if you're walking around exploring shit. I've never played Elden Ring, but I've played one of the Dark Souls. And when you're walking around looking for secrets and shit and that, there's at least, like, fighting. It doesn't even, there's no fighting. It's just, there's only fighting in, like, the game mode. But outside the game mode, you're just walking around talking and, I don't know. So I was like, I don't know. How important is this? But there you go. There you go. Warcraft 3. I played that back in the day. Anyways, who gives a shit, right? You guys are here for African American women speaking and maybe a little political or cultural commentary. See, I thought about getting Crimson Desert, but people told me the control scheme was really difficult. And I'm a fucking idiot. Like, I played a couple minutes at a buddy's house of one of the new Assassin's Creed with the fighting is more difficult. The last Assassin's Creed I played was Assassin's Creed 2. And one of the things that made that game, for me, really enjoyable was how easy it was to do, like, ridiculous shit. Like, so, like, when you're watching someone play the game, it looks really complicated. Like, oh, man, you're running across this roof, and then you dive into a haystack, and then you climb up a wall. But you're basically just holding forward on the control. But it's like all this cool shit, you know, you're doing, and it's pretty easy to do. And then the fighting, it was like basically, you just kicked everyone's ass. You'd fight like 12 people at a time. It wasn't that hard. Yeah, that's how I am Imaginarium. I remember being young and like watching my dad like struggle to play like Mario Kart or something with us. Like, what button do I hit? Back in the Nintendo 64, right? When the button was on the back of the control, you'd use the joystick. I remember my dad being like, what the fuck is this? What is this button on the back of the control bullshit? You know, his heyday was like the regular Nintendo NES. So it was like, by the time you get to 64, that's like me. My heyday was probably like the Xbox 360. So now that we're some generations of consoles on from that, I'm like, I'm fucking confused. I don't know what's going on. I would get my ass kicked in Elden Ring so fast. I tried, I think I had Dark Souls or Dark Souls 2. And I think I got it like discounted on PlayStation Network at one point. I was terrible. Like the first enemies were beating my ass. And, you know, I'd read it's like, oh, it's not like old games where you just run in and hit the attack button and you kick everything's ass. You gotta like plan carefully and block and strafe. And I'm like, I don't know. Sounds like a lot of work. Someone asked if I'm still on Kick. I don't know what's going on with Kick. It's really, it won't let me sign in, and it keeps, every time I go to the website, it acts like I'm on the last step of creating an account. So I'm going to figure that out, but Escape from Tarkov, I've heard people play that, yeah. Simple, though? That's not the impression I got. Mass Effect, yeah, I beat Mass Effect 1 and 2. I never played 3, though. If carrying a sword was fashionable, what sword would I carry every day? See, that's tough. I think the most badass looking sword is like a two-handed broadsword. It's like a big ass claymore, or I'm partial to Conan the Barbarian sword. I think that's a fucking badass sword. But it'd be heavy. So for practical purpose, you want to lug that shit around? So I'd probably go with some sort of saber. It feels like it'd be the practical. I don't think you'd have to have a lot of skill to use a saber. It's designed enough that I think that even a layman like me could do damage, right? But I don't think it would be too heavy. A gladius, that would be good too. Yeah. Yeah. I own all the Mass Effect games, so I bought it on Steam one time. It was on sale. I have so many games on Steam that I've never played. A dirk? Well, that's more of a knife, isn't it? What are we doing? Anybody who's listening to me for fucking weapons conversation? All right. Let's talk about some real stuff. I shouldn't. I should save it all for tomorrow, so I have something to talk about tomorrow. But what to talk about first? How about the Groyper Civil War? Nick Fuentes, stuff like that again. I saw my friend Andrew Wilson weighed in, so I thought I'd weigh in as well. Now, I know a lot of people here. I get the handful of people that are Nick Fuentes fans, and they come in. Some of them give me shit. Most of them are like, I like you and Nick, but you're just wrong on Israel. Okay. I vehemently disagree with Nick on this vote Democrat strategy. I think it's stupid. But now there are all these other people like and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. They're Ian Carroll and I think Candace Owens type faction and Jake Shields and they're like going at Nick. I find it humorous because I'm like, well, because it feels, I mentioned this the other day, it's like everybody, well, that's just it. Let's see, Crisco, I'm sorry. Let's see what you think. So now it's hard to play any of the videos by the nature of the way these people talk. A lot of N-words, a lot of criticism of the Jewish folk. But I watched some of this and I have to say, and someone correct me if you think I'm wrong. Now, I'm saying this as someone outside of it. So let me say tentatively what I agree with all these people. I've no problem with white people collectively talking about issues that affect their community. I'm in that camp. I have no problem vehemently being pissed off about illegal and legal immigration. That's about it. Now, I don't really have an interest to dive in too much beyond that. But I have been talking about it because, for two reasons, this story is important to me. One is, it's funny, it's entertaining, it's online personalities fighting with each other, and there's a part of that shit show that's entertaining. So I just have to admit that. The other part is, I really am trying to start the push politically to have Republicans win in these midterms. And so when I see people, even in my community, that are not going to vote Republican, because largely things these type of people say, whether it be the Iran war or Epstein or just general Israeli connections, it's something that I'm trying to push back on. And so that's basically where I'm at in this. So I just messing around today, had to drive and was listening to a little of the back and forth. And I have to say, like, this is very difficult to say. I think Nick is way more likable than the people from the like dissident right that are now fighting with him. Like, I'm not even saying like the allegations, because who the fuck knows who's telling the truth? Maybe Nick's a Fed, maybe all the other people were Feds. I don't know. But just to listen to them at face value, like this Dan Blazarian character, and yeah, like, not only does Nick seem like Nick's smart, he's charismatic, he's funny. Like, these other people are just like, we need to, F this guy, and like there's so much more like either straight up or wink wink nudge nudge to like, well, we need to use violence. And it really is, it's like I can't believe I'm saying this, but like, is Nick preventing people from getting even fucking crazier and more radicalized. This isn't to say that I'm like, go follow Nick or anything. I'm not suggesting it. I'm just saying from someone in the outside that's just looking in. I see some of these other guys and I hear how their audience is talking, and they be talking like it's time for war, like physical. Like they're the crowd that's like anybody that has Jewish blood, kick them out of the country. And then I see little clips from Nick, and it seems to me he's like, I'm not like that. I don't know. I just thought it was because you see, the thing is, and this is always the way it's going to be. When you see someone that gets like a public figure perception, no matter what group, even fucking like a terrorist group, there's probably someone more extreme that you haven't heard of. So when you hear like, some fucking maniac like Boko Haram guy like in front of the camera, there's probably some more fucking maniac guy out there that's like, he's too soft. This guy's too soft. And it reminds me a lot of like either the mafia or like organized crime, organized gangs, like maybe old school like Bloods and Crips, or like old school Hispanic gangs, or the mafia, where you'll hear these stories, and it's not to glorify them. Fuck those groups. Don't get me wrong. I'm not defending them, but they'll be like, we sort of reined our own people in because we were making shitloads of money. So we didn't want the game to fucking fall apart. But then you got these maniac youngsters coming up that they didn't give a shit. There's no like honor amongst it. There's no code, right? It's just fuck. We're going 100% violence, blah blah blah. You hear this a lot about the Mexican cartels. Like I saw this guy on Joe Rogan years ago talking about this. It was like the old cartels, somewhat as corrupt as it is, somewhat worked with even like U.S. intelligence to a degree, where it would be like, listen, we know what's going on. We're going to let most of it go on, but it can't get to affecting normies. You can't be out there and have people shooting in the street or fucking, normie people. If the gang people are attacking the gang people, hey, whatever. But as soon as the normies get involved, now we got to act. So, I mean, that's what it sort of felt that way. Now, I don't know shit. I don't know. Maybe someone out there will say, maybe that's Nick's role. Maybe Nick was placed in by the feds, sort of like they accuse Martin Luther King. That like the feds were like, look, we're going to put some weight behind this guy because he's the non-violent option. I don't know. I'm not making that accusation. I'm just saying from the outside, I just thought it was funny watching that today. And the other thing is, like, I got to be straight up. I feel like Nick's, like him or hate him, you think he's a Fed, you think he's the worst racist in the world, you think he's wrong, but he's funny. You're a big supporter and you're with him thick and thin. You used to like him, but now you think he's fake and paid off. Wherever you find yourself on the Nick Fuentes thing, whatever, right? I think it's undeniable that he's an intelligent guy. I say the same about someone like Destiny. And I say that and people get all pissed off. He's not intelligent. He just knows a few tricks to use while debating or whatever. Whatever. It's my opinion. But it honestly seems like some of these other, like, anti-Israel people that are now fighting with Nick, it seems like some of them are real fucking dumb. That's what it seems like to me. And I just have to say, I saw Andrew Wilson say this. This was the same thought I had. Just as someone from the outside looking in, it seems like every 6 months there's a new, this is it for Nick. Some new right-wingers challenging Nick. And this will be it. He's going to get his comeuppance. It's very reminiscent of the Trump comeuppance. They're always right around the corner. Any moment now, his ops are going to prove that he's a shill and he's going to lose all of his support. I don't know. If I had to bet on Nick versus the right-wing people that are sort of trying to become the face of the anti-Israel movement, my money would be on Nick. Was I talking to John Ward today? No, I need to reach out to John. John probably give me the business now. Even though I like John, I think John's quite the anti-Israel dude, so he'd probably. Anyways, that's basically it. I don't have much else to say about it. I just, you can't help. It's very similar to me. And before people like, oh, you're talking about put this again. Look, it's like when I talk about like Hassan and Destiny. Like, I could fully admit, Destiny's way fucking smarter than Hassan. Hassan's got some things like, Hassan's an attractive guy, which helps him build an audience, right? He hits all the right talking points for like a radical left, like communist socialist. So, I don't know. The other thing I'll say is this, like, hey, let them fight. Let fucking, the more time they're spending fighting with each other, the less time they're trying to convince people to vote Democrat. So, let them fight. I don't care. All right. Other things that I wanted to talk about tonight. That's it. I don't have much more. Let's read some super chats. Shall we? Sinrai says, I've talked to Hassan for a couple hours in person. He really is that stupid. Well, there you go. Joseph Romano, $5. Thank you as always, my friend. Says, yeah, blessings. Thank you, Joseph. Always appreciate it. The great Intel Wild, $2 says, in the book, do they say axe? It's spelled ASKS, but if you'd like, I could try to say axe when I read it. Joseph, $20 says, good stuff, Rob. Thanks for the content, man. Thank you. Wicked Wally, $5 says, if someone blew all their political clout on presenting Kanye West to Trump, I demand their fans explain why I should take them seriously anyways. Yeah, one thing I can say about Nick, and again, as someone who's not, I suspect he's the type of person that says a lot of shit, and then when something happens, at one point, he said that, see? I was right. Like, I do remember, and I assume it was in jest, but he told everyone not to vote for Trump in 2024, and then when Trump won, he posted out in X, we did it. So it's like, I wonder how much of that shit's going on. But the Kanye thing's an all-time bad move. JB, member for 2 months. Thanks, man. Says, thanks for the Crucible team streams. W-Rub, of course. Thank you. And the Big Daddy Pod. Hey, Chubby Wubby. Chubby Wubby. You asked me on a date here. So, your Judge Judy, Alex Jones, Gilbert Godfrey voice has grown to me. I'm like a fucking virus, So I'm here to stay and throw money at you, like my short, plump, and squawky pole dancer, making it rain. Thank you. People ask me that all the time, like, I like you, but your voice, I can't help it. Like, I try to be like, hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to North America Show. Host robnoerr here. Yeah, just got back from a workout, and we were shooting here earlier today, and like, these motherfucking lefties, come on here, give them some shit tonight. I can't help it. This is how I am. But thank you. Was that a black voice? I wasn't even trying. That was just my idea of a masculine voice. I know I have a whiny voice. Whatever. I don't know what to talk about tonight because I don't want to burn everything for tomorrow. So, which story do I want to talk about? Let me look here. You want to talk about Lauren Southern? Did you see the new Crucible cartoon from the great Mr. White? Then I'll give some Lauren Southern takes. Here's the link if you guys...
Hey, everybody. Long time no see. not dead, despite how many governments and shady influencers might wish it. Still kicking, and as I mentioned, 5 months ago now? If I came back, it would only be because I actually had something worth saying. And unfortunately, I do. Because what the hell is going on here? I genuinely don't know what the counterculture dissident political movement is anymore, or what it's even fighting for at this point. I had a very, very Christian childhood. I mean, like, we were charismatic.
Now, the first question I have is this her actual thing she said? Or is this someone doing an impression? Or is it like an AI program that's doing her voice? Does anyone know? I don't know if I haven't talked to Andrew about it. I don't. It's Lauren Southern. Yeah, it definitely sounds like, if it's someone doing an impression, I was going to say that's spot on. If it's someone doing an impression. So this is actually, so they just animated over like a video she did. Is that okay? Or it is AI. Okay. Okay. Well, let's keep going. I mean, clearly it's in jest. It's making jest of her, so.
Miracles, prophecies, speaking in tongues. I have a core memory of being like X-Men tested for my ability to speak in tongues at Sunday school and talking in gibberish.
Wasn't that the Doom? Like, isn't that like one of the final bosses in like Doom 1 or 2? If I'm not mistaken. It's pretty funny.
My ability to speak in tongues at Sunday school and talking in gibberish so I didn't look like the only idiot who couldn't speak to angels. And in a way, you know, my childhood was kind of cool because I got to do like a tasting board of all these different Protestant denominations, a few years at a Baptist church, a few years at a church, evangelical.
That's a great reference from The Mummy. That's one of my favorite scenes in that movie. I'm a big fan of it. That's good.
I went to a Pentecostal school until I was 14. I attended Bible study well into my teen years. And then as I got older, I started encountering Catholicism and I attended Mass. And anyways, for a long time, I honestly...
Did you see this?
Oh my goodness! And
do you know what that is? I can't believe it. Does anyone get that reference with that? Mr. White and Mr. Black, the guys that draw these cartoons. I know both of them. Well, the guys from The Mummy, but that symbol. Oh yeah, my wife knows it for sure. It's not me. Does anyone know? No, the character's from The Mummy, but the symbol he's wearing there. He pulled out like a Christian cross. He pulled out like a Star of David. Does anyone know what that is? Caleb knows? Oh, snap. Oh, Gecko nails it. It's the Boognish. That's from my all-time favorite band, Ween. Yeah. That's Ween's symbol, the Boognish. Very good. Hey, man, if I was facing horrors beyond comprehension, I might pull out my crucifix and my Boognish. That might be something that I would attempt. So, pretty funny. That makes me happy. I haven't watched this yet, so I'm...
Did Mass. And anyways, for a long time, I honestly assumed that the nastier corners of online Christian content would stay where they usually live.
In fairness, I will say, to Lauren's point here, right? I never noticed until right now how red Andrew's eyes are. It is ominous. So I can understand, right? I definitely could understand why you would think that he's a bad man. Anyone with eyes like that, he's either a cyborg, has some sort of demon in him, you know, yelled at his wife for not making him lunch or something. I don't know. But so I can see her point here.
Buried in algorithmic side alleyways, just shouting at each other, mostly invisible to normal people. If you don't know who Andrew Wilson is, he originally operated in the old blood sports Twitch debate world under the name Big Papa Fascist. He has since rebranded, but still runs a show called The Crucible. And in a religious context, that is a wild title to choose. In Christian language, a crucible is a severe trial, a fire...
Steven, going to a 10 a.m. drag race, then getting home by 1 p.m. Steven,
The jaw's pretty funny.
Steven, I'm in a horrible position right now that I was looking forward to talking about in person together. I've obviously been going on dates since you suggested it, and the guy I've been seeing is really lovely. I definitely feel he deserves a real shot and not games from me.
Was that Andrew Tate?
I definitely feel he deserves a real shot and not games from me. I also need to put out into the world what I want from a relationship, which is monogamy, as I've always told you.
What's going on?
Always wished you were into it. I don't know, because I'm still getting to know him. And I still love you.
Is this a real, message she wrote? This is surely bullshit, right? Now, look, I don't follow the lore in a lot of this shit. I really don't. I have known that there was apparently an allegation that Lauren, this is what I know of this situation, right? And people tell me if this is correct. I know the bare minimum. Allegedly, she had slept with Destiny, but she was married at the time or was engaged. And then she denied when people said, you slept with Destiny, she denied it. And then it later came out to be true. Is that the gist of the Lauren Southern Destiny vibes? I know they did a lot of videos together, they're like frenemies collaborating. But this letter is also real. Allegedly. I can't confirm it's real, so I'm not going to say it is. But that's funny. I didn't follow the lore that much. I will tell you about my experiences with Lauren Southern here at the end here. We're almost done. I like that he has the full health and armor there. That's Mr. White and Mr. Black. I'll put that link up one more time if you want. So, So I don't know about a lot of the personal drama shit. I just don't. I can't even say it like I'm above it. I'm not. I'm really not. I just pick and choose when something catches my eye. I don't know how else to put it. So, I found myself, most of the time, the personal drama that I find interesting isn't who's sleeping with who. I kind of find the America First battle going on to be an interesting drama. I find the Destiny Hassan drama to be interesting. I don't believe there's any allegations anyone in either of those situations have slept with each other. I don't think that's right. I find that, I found myself in a weird rabbit hole watching Dark Side Phil drama, but just him being a weird streamer. It wasn't like who he's sleeping with or anything like that. I don't know if I tend to be honest, one of the things that's been very refreshing about a lot of the people that I've collaborated with on the online right is I have not experienced any like crazy shit like this. So for example, Andrew seems like a great family guy, as I've been friends with him for years. I've got to know him and his family. I've been out with him many times. Never been any drama of that sense. Jake Rattlesnake, never seen any drama of that. Well, who's Jake hooking up with or any of that? That's just sort of been, Ryan Mullally that I did the show with. Awesome family man. Used to, did a show here and there with this guy, Lecture Fan, family man. Drone Tech Politics, family man. That's not to say I don't know, what could be going on behind closed doors and shit. I don't know. But it was always just nice that I never found myself in a position yet, and it may happen at some point, where there's someone that I've worked with that I liked, and then all of a sudden it's like, they cheated on their wife, or they slept with this other person. I haven't dealt with that, and I'm so happy for it. I find the entire culture of sleeping around and infidelity and even just dating, just the dating world at this point, it's so exhausting to me. I am the luckiest man in the world. I met a woman who is fantastic. That's it. I don't have to worry about dating. I don't have, it's truly wonderful. And the less I know, like even friends I have in real life, I just for my sake, find a woman, get married, so I don't have to remember people's names and shit. Oh yeah, that was your last girlfriend. Just stick with one woman. Go. You know? So I don't know. I just don't find that shit interesting. However, I don't begrudge people that do. I used to watch some Maury Povich. You are the father. I'm not gonna lie. I tune into that here and there, or like Divorce Court, or Steve Wilko's show, or Jerry Springer shit. I watch some of that. Right? Don't get me wrong. So I'm not begrudging anyone. To each their own. You know, I've been fortunate. The type of content that I'm focused on, rarely is it getting into that sort of realm. I'm not really talking to OnlyFans girls. I'm not really debating people about open marriages or, um, you know, polygyny or polygamy or any of that shit. So and you know, Andrew does that. And so the nature of that is you're trying to push like a religious cultural worldview, and you're going to talk about this stuff, and people are going to push back, and inevitably it'll get personal. And then on top of that, with Andrew, his wife streams. His wife wrote a book, so she's out there in the public. And so I do not have a problem with people attacking Andrew and Rachel in their relationship. I personally think it's stupid. But if Andrew and Rachel are going to be out there and be like, you're in a bad relationship because, you know, you're a single chick and you're hooking up with a bunch of dudes, you'd be naive to think that that woman isn't going to be like, well, yeah, I think your relationship sucks. I get that. There are things that go beyond the pale, which I've talked about before. I'm not going to readdress here. And if people cross that line as a friend of Andrew's, fuck off. I'm not interested in dealing with them, as far as I'm concerned. But you'll see, even when I've debated like Destiny and shit, I never once brought up any of his bullshit. Never have. I'm more interested in bringing up the shit he says of a political nature and how fucked up it is. That, to me, is where my focus is. But it doesn't matter. If people want to focus on the other shit, they have every right to. So in that vein, I don't know much about this Lauren Southern situation. That said, allow me to take a stab at what I think a lot of people are going to find egregious about her. Lauren seemed to me previously in years past, the big thing I knew Lauren from was the native graves story in Canada, which, by the way, I think she was right about, like totally vindicated. For those that didn't remember that story, it was, you know, the Canadian government was looking into the claims that underneath all of these Christian churches in Canada, there were natives that were killed and buried. And then there were all these Christian churches that were being attacked, and the Canadian government was taking it serious. And it was all bullshit. And it was just an excuse for people to attack Christianity again. And I thought Lauren did fine on that. So that's what I knew. Now, beyond that, if you asked me, without watching a lot of Lauren Southern content, if you asked me, like, what's Lauren's thing, I would have said she's conservative. She's, like, pushing back against woke. And she's sort of conservative, like, one in a lot of these conservative values women that are out there talking. Now, I can't claim I ever heard her talking about relationships or anything like that. But my guess would have been that she was one of those people that were like, hey, you know, the woke stuff's too much. You shouldn't be out there being super promiscuous. Try to settle down. I would have never been under the impression she was like, you know, Pearl Davis, that she was that far with it. But my guess would have been that if she talked about this stuff, it was probably from the camp of like, hey, let's, you know, kind of get married and do things in a conservative type way. Um, Certainly, I think her politics, which I was more aware of, was that. So I think what pisses a lot of people off was that allegedly, and I think, I don't know that she even denies it at this point, that she was hooking up with Destiny, which in the world that Lauren was in, sort of the online commentariat slash debate sphere, though I don't know how much she debated, that would have been sort of one of the bigger diametrically opposed people. So it's a little bit like breaking kayfabe, like in wrestling. Like when you found out that the Iron Sheik and Jim Duggan got caught doing drugs together in a car, you're like, but Jim Duggan's pro-America and the Iron Sheik's anti-America. How could they be friends? It's a little bit like that. And then there were allegations she was married. And so I think rightfully then what happens is people were like, well, was this all a grift? Was it all bullshit? Were you just playing a character for money online? Because if you said all this shit about how damaging the left is, and then you're with like one of the worst dudes on the left, was it all bullshit? Are you just saying shit, right? I think to me, that's probably where a lot of the animosity from the right wing to Lauren Southern is. Now that's going to be doubled for people that are like more red pilled, because their focus is, oftentimes how women could be promiscuous and, shatter marriages and shit. So you can see how a dude like Andrew Tate's going to be like, see, here we go again. Another conservative woman. So I get that. And so now my understanding is she did this interview with Jeremy Boring, formerly of the Daily Wire, and was basically like, I helped create the manosphere and now it's like out of control and they attack me. Well, first off, I don't know how much she helped create the manosphere. I think she was a person who was there, and I think, this is getting into shit I don't normally talk about. I wonder how much of her getting to the level of voice she had was because she's kind of an attractive blonde woman. And let's be honest, when it comes to the streaming world, if you're a very attractive to pseudo-attractive woman, you're like playing with cheat codes. There's a lot of people who are going to watch you just because of that. Does anyone disagree with me? And it works for guys to some extent. Like, there's a lot of people that watch Hassan because he's like a good-looking guy for the perspective. So I think that that's part of it. But I think it's a bit hubris to claim that she was like instrumental. She was a person. She was there. She was more there than I was, I guess. I don't really consider myself to be. I do. I have a bit of a crush on his son. There, see? Now the truth's coming out. Now you know my secret. Everyone's like, this guy's full of shit. He never says anything worthwhile. How's he have, 250 people watching, 300 people watching? Is there any doubt? Is there any doubt whatsoever? So, I don't know. So now she's out there and, I had heard through the grapevine, I don't know what's been made public or not, but some right-wing figures, she's made some accusations. Is anyone aware of this? I don't think this is secret, but a big red pillar that she's made accusations that harmed her, like in a sexual sense. That's not something that I picked up that's not supposed to be said, right? Can anyone confirm? Has anyone heard this story? Yeah, that's what I had heard. I think that I just read that publicly, that Andrew Tate assaulted her in a sexual manner. there was an accusation. Not Ween, for gosh sakes, no. That's public, right? Yeah, she publicly said that, right? So now I think what happens is if you're on the right and you lose part of your audience, what do you do? Go to the other side. Or attack the right and try to get people from the other side to be sympathetic to you. And so here she is. She wrote about it in her new book. Okay, that's what it was. Have I tried sleeping with Destiny? It's worth a shot. I would say I don't think I'm his type, but I don't know. I don't know. No, I have not, nor do I plan on attempting that. So what it looks like from the outside is, well, gosh. And I'm not saying this is true. I don't know. Has anyone heard this story about this NFL reporter, this woman? What was her name? I can't remember, but there's this coach, Mike Vrabel, and she's married and he's married, and these photos surfaced of this coach, Mike Vrabel, and her out at like some club, or, like not a club like a nightclub, but like a country club or something. Diane Rossini, yeah. And now all these stories have came up that like I've seen a lot of like male sports reporters, many of whom I don't like, but they're basically like, it's been a known secret for a long time that this lady's sleeping with dudes to get stories. That's it. That's how she's getting the scoop. She's getting the scoop because she's fucking the source, is in the words of TD. And yeah, if you're a chick, that's an option, I guess. I think there's some people that view Lauren Southern in that way. And I'll take Lauren's name out of it. And I want to be clear. I don't know. I don't know her sex life. But I do know this, that in this right-wing sphere, there's a lot of people that are telling you that they're conservative and they're this, that, men, women, whatever. And then they're not living that way. They're out there partying it up, hooking up with people. I've heard these stories all over the place. I've heard it from like people in the streaming world. I've heard it from people in the political world. That like staffers of particular candidates and shit, and like they'll rent out these blocks of hotels, and it's like these big fucking parties, and people are hooking up with everyone, and it's a bit depressing. You always hear the meme like, oh, during the RNC, like, Grindr and Tinder accounts are through the roof because everybody's like hooking up with either in gay relationships or just cheating, etc. Yeah, the Elijah Schaefer crash out, that's an example. I rarely pay attention to this shit, but it is depressing. Because you like to believe the people that are tough. I'm not saying people can't fuck up either. I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying the guy that's sitting there like, I'm a Christian, blah, 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 and then you find out he cheated. I'm not saying that means that he was lying and he, like all of us, sinned. Okay. It happens. But there's people that it don't even look like are trying. That it's like, yeah, whatever, And I don't know. I think that there are a lot of women in the sphere that are like that and that sort of use sex to their advantage. They're telling you that they're these base conservative Christian women, and then maybe they're hooking up with these people that they see are a nice stepping stone to the next path in their career. Oh boy, I hook up with this person. Now all of a sudden I'm getting on some bigger shows. Sort of like the Harvey Weinstein shit. And much like the Harvey Weinstein shit, if a woman's doing that, and again, I'm not saying specific names, and I didn't even hear a lot of specific names. I've just heard this in general. And you wonder if 10, 20 years down the road, if this happened, that you're going to hear a lot of stories about a lot of women, you know, in the political world or in the streamer world. You know, oh, 20 years ago, in order to get like access to get hired on Ron DeSantis's team, everybody knew that the guy that was working on his campaign, you basically had to hook up with him. And now here I am to tell my story after I'm about to retire after my 30 years in politics or some shit like that. And you're going to roll your eyes and be like, same as it ever was. And I think the other thing that's going on, particularly with women, you're seeing a lot of this, like, not even debatable, like public, like OnlyFans chick, and then all of a sudden born again Christian, and now right wing influencer, speaking at Turning Point USA or other Republican area, talking with Michael Knowles or you know. And so I think there's a lot of people in the right wing movement, and I don't mean streamers or politicians. I just mean like regular people that are like, yeah, I'm sort of identify with that. They're a little like, you know what? Fuck all this. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of it. And I think that Lauren feels like that. I think that with the Destiny situation, again, which I didn't follow, so I know someone's going to clip this and like Rob's basically admitting he didn't follow it. I'm not saying what the truth is. I'm just saying when I heard people that I know talk about her that are just like fans of mine or whatever, it's always like, it's bullshit. She was a grifter. She hooked up with Destiny. She screwed over her husband. Maybe those allegations aren't true. Maybe there are explanations for everything that paints Lauren in a more favorable light. I'm just saying, I think that I'm comfortable in saying a lot of the animosity towards Lauren from people that formerly might have appreciated her message is that they're pissed off about that Destiny situation and think that she's a grifter. And so then she comes out and she's like, well, this other right-wing guy, Andrew Tate, he assaulted me. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I don't know. If he did, it's unfortunate, but because of the Destiny situation, what it feels like is really another act of intercourse with a big streamer. Now, that doesn't mean that she wasn't assaulted. I don't know. I'm not taking a stance. I've not bothered to look in any of the details. So I'm not surprised then she's doing a comeback tour and she goes on Jeremy Boring and she's going to talk about the red pill. But what I did think was funny was that she's also going to specifically go after Andrew Wilson by name. Not only him by name, but sort of the idea of like the fake Christian. Oh, these people that claim to be Christian. Is she upset because a lot of right-wing Christian people that would have watched her find her infidelity or alleged infidelity to be heinous and not very Christian-like? And so that's in her crosshairs. Maybe she's like, well, if you think I'm not Christian-like, what about these other streamers that claim to be? But it just seems like, well, I need to resurrect my career. Let's create some drama. Let's do it. Maybe the political chops aren't there. Maybe the political influence isn't there. So we'll focus on the drama. Or, as, I don't know, she says she's still butthurt over Andrew calling out Destiny on his relationship with her. Could be. Now, I will say I've only ever had, I will give you a Lauren drama, and I'm not so sure that it's Lauren's fault, though. But I'll give you my interactions with Lauren. I've only had one, really. Lauren somehow reached out to me and asked me. She was working in partnership with the website. What the fuck's it called? I could picture their image. Odyssey. Odyssey was sort of like trying to be like Kick or Rumble. And so they were doing this thing. It was the Odyssey Games. And she was like, they were looking for like 16 or 32 streamers to take part in it. And no one was a really huge name. The only people that I remember that were in it other than me was like Connor, Counterpoints Connor. He was in it. And then the rest of the people I didn't know. But Lauren was one of like the people that were hosting the show. Now, I'll be honest. I knew of Lauren. I didn't know her well, but I had no reason to dislike her or anything. And I might screw up my timeline somewhat, so I apologize. But all the information is factual. I didn't have any problems with her, and to be clear, especially back then, I was a smaller streamer than I am now, and I was trying to impress some people and hopefully get on a show like Tim Pool, or get on a show like Lauren Southerns, or get on a show like Dave Rubin's. That suited me. Wasn't pretending to be something I wasn't, but sure. Someone says, do a favor for me, do this show for me. Sure, maybe I could come on your regular show. I don't think there's any shame in that. Was Salty Cracker there? Maybe. I don't remember. Anyways, so I said sure. And they sent me a big package in the mail and said, don't open this. You're not supposed to see what's in it, but it's for the games. So it sat there for like a month. I forgot all about these games. And we scheduled to go up to a friend of mine's house in Pittsburgh for I don't know what it was, some party for something. I don't know if it was a birthday party or a holiday or something. But we went up and my wife, like the day before, is like, isn't that those Odyssey game things that you promised them? I said, oh, fuck yeah. So I took my computer and my streaming shit and I took this package and I got fucking hammered. Like the drunkest I've been in like 10 years. I was fucking smoked. Like super hammered. Like drinking whiskey, like really fucking drunk. So drunk I couldn't even like fucking sign on. I had to have my friends help me. And there was other packages that came. The big package, by the way, I never got to use it, was a stripper pole. So one of the rounds where you were supposed to dance in the stripper pole. I lost in round one. Round one was, you open this package and it was bugs. Like dead bugs. Some people got like tarantulas. I think I got like crickets or some shit. And it was the first person to eat all of their bag of bugs won. Was the contest. I was like, okay. I'm drunk as shit, and I'm just fucking with Lauren the whole time. I barely remember it. And I was just like, let's just say this. They asked about me, and I'm like, oh, I'm a right winger, and everyone says I'm like, you know, I'm some like fucking maniac, racist, fascist, so I'll just play the part. I started to do a couple Roman salutes and some other stuff. I was like, this isn't who I am, but this is who they imagine. And Lauren's just like, oh, sweet God, what is this guy doing? So I was pushing the limits there. Anyways, when it came time to eat the bugs, Ethan Ralph was there for a bit. Okay. I was just bullshitting. And I was eating the bugs like you'd eat like fucking peanuts at a ball game or something. I just put them in. And these other people were like gagging, trying to swallow them. I'm just munching them like, and I'm just bullshitting the whole time. Like, what the fuck are these losers saying? Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Like, just a drunken fucking maniac. And then they're like, okay, it's over. Rob, you lose. And I just kept munching on the bugs. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Whatever. Am I done with this shitty thing? Am I out? They're like, yeah, you're done. All right, see ya. I don't know if it's still up on Odyssey's. I wasn't streaming it to my own channel. So I don't know if it's still up on Odyssey somewhere or not. But you could check the Odyssey games from like, I don't know what it would have been, 7-8 years ago? Not that long ago. Maybe 6 years ago? So, anyways, Connor won it. My good friend Connor, he won it. The final event was you had to open your phone and go through your photos and one at a time scroll until one of you refused to scroll next. And whatever you think of Connor, I'm guessing Connor's married and has kids. He probably doesn't have a lot of dick pics or anything on his phone, so it's just like, just like kid pictures of me and the kids playing kickball and shit. So he ended up winning. Anyways, that was that. Now, along with that, Lauren had a producer at the time named Savannah Banana. Now, I don't know why. I believe Savannah was trans. I think that I had met Savannah through Dylan Burns' panel show. Somehow, if I remember. And I think Savannah's the one that got me in touch with Lauren to do the Odyssey games. And basically, I was like, sure, I'll do it. Not as a condition, but just a friendly nudge, nudge. Do you think maybe I could get on Lauren's show sometime and actually talk about politics? Oh, yeah, that could probably happen. Cool. And it never happened. And Savannah reached out to me. Can you do this? Sure, I'd do a debate. Can you do this? And then ultimately, and again, this is like 5 years ago. Savannah reaches out to me and is like, look, there's this interest for Savannah that Savannah wanted to do a white issues panel. Back then, there were all these Twitch panels like black issues, women issues. She wanted to do white people issues. I was like, I don't know. It's not really my brand. Well, would you join the panel? Sure. Can we host then like a couple days later, can we host the panel on your show? Because Lauren doesn't want to do it in her show. I was like, well, do you think I'll get a chance to talk to Lauren? Sure. Okay. So Savannah, instead of Lauren's, now going to moderate it, and it's going to be on my show. My channel. Okay? And then, like, the day or the day before the show, Savannah reaches out. I can't do it. So I had to moderate. And it was like fucking Wick and me and a couple other people. It was so fucking awkward. And I felt like such an asshole, like doing this whites only panel. What a fucking load of shit. But here it is. Now it looks like it was my thing. It's on my show, and I'm hosting and moderating it. But I was like, all right, whatever. I'll get an opportunity to get on Lauren's show. Well, suffice it to say, that was basically the last I heard of it. You know, maybe a year or two later, Savannah was just like, hey, how's it going? I was like, fine. And that was about it. So that's the only run. Now, for all I know, Lauren never heard shit from her producer. So I'm not saying Lauren intentionally avoided me. I'm not saying that. But that was just my only run-in with Lauren. So, is Odyssey Games a YouTube channel? Maybe, but Odyssey that I'm talking about here. That's Odyssey. I still have an Odyssey channel. It used to, I'll lower it just a, it used to automatically link all of my YouTube stuff there. So it was a nice like backup if my channel ever got nuked. So my channel's at robnoerr. But it stopped linking like a year ago. There you go. So yeah, that's also for some reason it's at robnoerr 2. What's that about? Yeah, there it is. Yeah, Odyssey, yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened with it, but if I check, yeah, they have the bracket up. I guess I went against someone named Ashton Birdie, and I think in my bracket was Brittany Venti and Counterpoints. And I think the ultimate prize was like $1,000. But it looks like they took the live stream down. I don't know. You can read the chats. 2022 it was. So, anyways, there you go. That's the Lauren Southern. That's my Lauren Southern bit and drama. The video from the Crucible is very funny. But yeah, I did the Odyssey games in 2022, and I have not been that drunk since. It is not a proud moment. Uh, did she come out as pro-abortion on Fox? I'm not sure. Don't know. Now, let's start. Let's read super chats, and then we're going to get into the serious stuff tonight. The Apostle James, $2 says, including Destiny's uppers, addled jaw movements was gold. Destiny, I don't know if that's what that's from, or maybe he has a tick or something. I will say this: I've known people that like uppers and definitely get that teeth grind jaw movement, but you deserve what you tolerate. $5 says would have been better if it was a Sonichu medallion. I don't know much about that. Isn't it like cursed? People that put that thing on always then end up having a bad time. But Wicked Wally, $5 says, I've never heard of her. Why should I give a shit? I refuse to tell her. We should all be as fortunate as Millie to not know who Lauren is. There's a lot of that, man, where it's like I feel someone will say someone's name, I don't know them, and people are like, good, keep it that way. Tiger Nuts, $5 says, just got done playing Age of Empires 4. Awesome game. If you've not played it, you're missing out. Then again, strategy games aren't for anyone. You want to know what? Or everyone. I played for a while Age of Wonders Part 4. I thought it was fun for like a strategy game. I don't know if you've ever played it. Val Van Gogh, $5 says, I heard the right hates her because she claims her downfall in the entire right-wing movement, implies the entire right wing is misogynist, etc. Well, there you go. Zach Gelpy, $10 says, GOP conventions are always a bunch of debauchery happening. Yeah, it sucks. It's a weird thing. It's like streaming. Like, there's so many big time streamers, not just in the political world, just in general, that end up being like sacks of shit. And so is it that like the characteristics you need to get big time are the same ones that make you sort of a piece of shit? Or is it that once you get big time, you become a piece of shit? I look at politics like that as well, where it's like, the people I know that I think would be the best, like Congress people and shit, they're like fucking welders. They're truck drivers. And they might not be the smartest book smart people in the world, but I'll be damned if they don't love this country and really care about the people in their districts. And to me, that's far more of a requirement than, well, I, understand the Constitution and I've written a bunch of books and I'm a scholar, But those people are never going to have the ambition to want to be a politician. Being a politician isn't like what it was at the founding of this country, where it was looked at as a service. Now it's a career. It's not to say that there aren't politicians that don't get in for the right reason, but by and large, it's a career. That's why you're getting into it. And so you find yourself like, there's a lot of people then that get into it that end up being sort of scummy type people. And so, you're like, hey, I want to get involved. I want to help so-and-so win this election. And then there's a lot of people attached to you like, I don't know, it's pretty scummy. This isn't what I envisioned. I envisioned like going to my church banquet meeting and there would be people talking about politics. By the way, that is what a lot of my local GOP is. It's very much, pretty calm and reserved. There ain't a lot of like debauchery going on there. But when you start to get into these bigger areas, there's a lot of that, right? Now, we haven't missed it yet. The amazing blaster bot. Let me pronounce this one correctly, hopefully. Nigersaurus was a unique plant-eating sauropod dinosaur from the early Cretaceous period, known for its wide shovel-like mouth and over 500 replaceable teeth, which it used to crop low-lying vegetation like a Mesozoic lawnmower, nicknamed the Niger lizard. Thank you for the $100 and the attempt to cancel me. I think I navigated that quite well. Thank you, though. So now, for all those that wondered, you haven't missed I'm Speaking Now. You have not. We're going to transition to I'm Speaking Now. However, before I'm Speaking Now, I'm Speaking Now. I want to be clear that I'll do this show regardless of how much money I ever get. I may have to get a second job or something like that. I'm doing absolutely fine right now. But that's sort of the idea, right? Oh, Sniper, thanks. I'll get to that, I promise. So we mess around, we play whip songs. People donate quite generously. But I am serious about asking for money today. Now, I just talked about the Odyssey games and how I got really drunk. So I'd like to ask a question to everyone in the audience. How many of you have ever been addicts, whether it be booze, video games, drugs, whatever it may be? How many of you would consider yourselves at one point in your life to be an addict of something? I was an alcoholic. Yeah, cigarettes. Yeah, addicted to cigarettes. For me, booze was the big thing. Now, booze, it wasn't quite like this. I think with hardcore drugs, it's used to be a heroin addict. Yeah, heroin would be something I think would be more akin to this. But I always heard this story of like you're chasing that first high, right? Like, so you do some big drug, like a serious drug, and you feel sort of euphoric, and then it has diminishing returns. I hear this about like hardcore drugs. I'm not saying I haven't dabbled in stuff, but I was never addicted to any shit like that. Booze, I was. But booze, it was more of a social thing. But I couldn't help myself. But that idea of chasing that feeling that you got from the first time, that's really what I wanted to talk about here. And I wanted to let you all know that unfortunately, I find myself in the throes of addiction again. And I'm going to need your money to help out with my addiction. But I'm shameless. I'm not trying to overcome this addiction. Instead, I am fully embracing it. Now, it's not booze, it's not cigarettes, it's not vapes, it's not video games. No, it's far more disgusting than all of those things. And so I need you all to start sending me money to fuel this addiction. As you all know, Sundays, we read from this book, I'm Speaking Now. Black women share their truth of 101 stories of love, courage, and hope. Now, to be honest, I had a paper written down of the chapters I'd read, and I lost it, so we'll probably end up at some point reading the same chapters over again. We have 100 to get through. But it's not enough. You see, When I first opened that book at Ollie's, and I opened to the page where the first words was, it was January 6, 2021. I about died. And I've been chasing that feeling. And so now I'm in a bad position where I'm sort of an addict. I went to the bookstore again. And I picked up some more reading material. And it's starting to become a problem. And I'm afraid of going down a very dark path. Oh, come on, don't drop now. Now, what I was looking for is more of an anthology, sort of like I'm speaking now is. It's not really going to be as fun to read a 400-page book on the subject and just go through a chapter at a time. So the first book I found is sort of an anthology, I believe. This one also, they're all from Ollie's. This one was a whopping $4. Well-Read Black Girl by Gloria Edom. Remember that moment when you first encountered a character who seemed to be written just for you? Unfortunately, not everyone regularly sees themselves in the pages of a book. In this timely anthology, Gloria Edom brings together original essays by some of our best black women writers to shine a light on how important it is that we all, regardless of gender, race, religion, or ability, have the opportunity to find ourselves in literature. So, when we finally run out of stories and I'm speaking now, perhaps we could go to Well-Read Black Girl. I hit. So that was the first. So there's $4 I pissed away. I mean, invested. Next. This one, a little different. Not the same theme, but I could not pass this up for $4. Now, years ago, I got the Mueller report at Ollie's for about $5. But now I have the Mueller report illustrated. The obstruction investigation. Yes, that's right. Look at this. There's Trump standing at a podium. Ho, ho, ho. How about this? Just randomly open. Look at that. What's Chris Christie doing? He's hugging Trump and thinking about all-you-can-eat buffets, probably. Or perhaps we have, it's Trump there. He's doing like the soy jack meme. Look at that. There we go. The Mueller Report Illustrated by the Washington Post. $4. Another addicted purchase. Now, the next three, they're all going to be back to the theme that we started with. But they're more picture-oriented. But I think you guys are going to like these. And these ones, I think we'll use every week as sort of an addendum at this point. I'm speaking now. So let's see what you think of these 3 books, all from the same author or same editor, M. Sweeney. And these are the order that I found them and purchased them. Okay? Now, the first book, I don't know if we have price tags. This one, a whopping $5, $4.99. Laughing with Obama. Wow. Now you're like, well, what's that? It's like stories. No, it's literally just pictures of Obama laughing. There you go. There's Obama. Ah, look at that. Let's just open to another random page. There he is. There's Obama. Big smile on his face. Ha-ha. Wow. Then you got in the other page, it gives you a little, it says, Dick Cheney says he thinks I'm the worst president of his lifetime, which is interesting because I think Dick Cheney is the worst president of my lifetime. Hearty chuckle. Look at that. My goodness. Page after page after page. There he is. He's not really laughing here, but he looks like he has a little smile. There he is with Michelle. Wow. And there he is with Uncle Joe Biden. Joe looks happy. He's either about to take a shower with his daughter or get some chocolate chip ice cream, right? Pretty happy. Oh, Joe. Thanks, Joe. So there you are. Oh, look at the back. Damn! The hit, Laughing with Obama. Now, I thought that was pretty good, but then my wife came to the rescue. Now, my wife's not happy about my new addiction, but like every good wife, she is helping me. She's supporting me as I go through this addiction. So she found me the next two in order. And the first, if you're going to have Laughing with Obama, wow, how could you not add to your collection? Go High, the unstoppable presence and poise of Michelle Obama. Oh boy, even more exciting than Laughing with Obama. Let's look at these great pictures. Now, we're going to look for outlines in her pants the whole time, too, as we. There she is on the beach. Wow. Amazing. How about. Wow, 4 pictures on one page here? Whoa. It just says help. What is that? Is that like the kid there? Is that kid? She's doing the old cranium crush. Remember that wrestler Crush? She's giving the cranium crush move on his head, and he's like, help. Yeah. It's fantastic. It's page after page. There she is. Amazing. Let's Go High. The unstoppable presence and poise of Michelle Obama. So you're thinking, all right, that's it, right? No. Where do you go from here? You've had laughs from Barack, poise from Michelle. Where could you go from here? Anyone? Anyone have a guess? I got one more book. I'll give you a clue. It's the same editor, same theme as these past 2 books. Another picture book. Where could it be? Let's see who could guess first. Is it AOC? No. You got to say what it is, though. You can't just say AOC. It's got to be like horseshoes with AOC, right? Billiards with Biden. It's got to be something like that. Is it a trans thing? No. The greatness of the Obamas? No. Grace? No. Smartest Biden quotes? No. Bagels with RBG? No. That would have been great. Unfortunately, no. Biden falling down would have been good? No. Ilhan Omar wine book? No. Oprah? No. Walking with Joe? Oh, these are all great suggestions. I'll have to contact this editor and see. It's Barack Obama again. But this time he's not laughing. What could Obama be doing this time? A whole book of pictures of it. Cackles with Camelo. Teen pageants with Trump. Unfortunately, that was sold out. Dancing with Obama. Nope. Obama does Dallas. No. Obama basketball would be great, but no. Smoking narcotics. No. Line with Biden. No. Obama wearing suits. No. Acting black. No. All right, you ready? Free throws would have been great. It's hugs from Obama. Yes! Haven't you always wanted to see our first black president? Just a bunch of pictures of him giving people hugs? Yes! Hugs from Obama. A photographic look back at the warmth and wisdom of Barack Obama. Yes, that's right. Aren't you excited? Now, not all the pictures are hugs. I did thumb through it, but there are hugs. Look at this. That's kind of a hug. Wow. Yeah. And then about this. Same page. I ain't gonna help. There he is. There he's hugging someone. Amazing. And yeah, sniffs from Biden would be the best. Yeah, there's a bunch of hugs. Hope and change. And let's see what else we got. There he is. He's hugging someone. I have a problem. I'm I'm sort of obsessed. I have a theme going on. I'm starting to build quite the library. I may, at this point, in the entire county I live in, have the biggest collection of inspirational black books. And I'm just beginning. I'm going to continue to search. I'm not a lady. I'm not going to walk into an actual fucking bookstore. But I'll go to Ollie's and get like cheap garden hoses and shit for my yard and then peruse what sort of inspirational black nonfiction that we have for the day. So I'm not quitting. I'm not a quitter. So I'm going to keep running with this addiction. And that's why I implore you. Please continue to send money on this I'm Speaking Now show. I feel like I'm going to buy so many inspirational black books. It's sort of my form of reparations. I'm going to end up like not being able to pay the mortgage. Real men go to bookstores. Like adult bookstores? No. There is no bookstore around here, if I'm honest. Like my mom gets excited to go to Erie, which is like 2 hours away because they have a Barnes & Noble. That's probably the closest Pittsburgh or Erie. Maybe the town of Butler, which is about an hour away from me, has a bookstore. I don't know. I'm going to get put on a watch list. So there you have it, everyone. Inspirational black content for you. So please consider. I was thinking we're going to need at least 200% of the goal today to start to feed these terrible, terrible, terrible affliction of mine. Some super chats. The Great Sniper. How you doing, my man? 50 memberships. What a legend. Thank you so much, man. Unbelievable. Adam, $5 says, sending love, Rob. Learned about you through Andrew, and I'm glad I did. Thank you, Adam. Appreciate it. Cal Ranamone, $5. Thank you. Is my addiction whip songs? It's whip songs, is it? It is not, Wade. That's your addiction. But thank you for the $100. Legend. Sniper gives $5 for more brain rot books. We're going to say that one went to Hugs for Obama. Thank you, Sniper. Appreciate it. Polly Shortcuts, $2 says, what did you tell a cashier? My wife went through and paid. I was outside with my son, so they think my wife's like some huge feminist. Balder Azargard gives 20-somethings. Thank you, my friend. Really appreciate it. Over on Rumble, thank you all so much. Character Holding says, excuse me, I'm speaking now. I'm done speaking, carry on. Thank you, Character Holding, for the 20. Ticker Type Power, $5 says, I say this is going. You're a dick. Take my money. Respect. Thank you. And then JLT, $10 says, the big Ollie check must slap. I'm sold. Thank you. Yeah, Ollie's loves me, man. And then Naughty Germs, $5 says, I'm an enabler. Take this for your addiction. Thank you. Of course, we've stalled long enough. It's that time, the premier inspirational black female author supporting channel on YouTube, on Rumble, all across the internet. It's time once again for I'm Speaking Now.
I'm speaking now. Yeah. I'm speaking now. Long line, same shot, bus late, clock don't stop, got work, got plans, still wear last in their hands. Side eye from the man in the tie, clutches his briefcase, moves to the side. He don't see the weight on my spine, he just sees a story from a lie. I'm speaking now. Everybody hush and listen. I'm speaking now. You gon' hear what you've been missing. Every door, you kept locked, we kicking down. hair shop, Sunday, hands in scalp pray, hot comb, history, passed down quietly. Boss says too big for the floor. Cold words, I've heard them before. You don't say less than out loud. You just build a rule to keep us out. I'm speaking now. Everybody hush and listen now. I'm speaking now. You gon' hear what you've been missing. Yeah. Every note, every door. You kept locked, we kicking down. I carried all this hurt for ages. You gon' sit and hear these pages. I'm speaking now. I'm speaking now. You drew lines in red on our blocks, turned our schools into afterthoughts. Underpay us, then say try harder. Blame the seed while you poison water. You make fear our daily weather, then ask why we carry shelter. From the bus stop to the boardroom, we feel your hand in every room. Every room, every room, every room, every room, every room, every room. Groceries, self-check. Guard eyes on my neck. Lady clutches her purse so tight, as if my hands ain't full of rice. Doctor's office, pain too real. She writes dramatic on the field. You talk the world, we can take more. Then use that myth to close the door. I'm speaking now. Everybody hush and listen. I'm speaking now. You gon' hear what you've been missing. You gon' sit and hear these pages. I'm speaking now. I'm speaking now. Pass the mic, pass the mic, pass the mic, pass the mic, pass the mic. One by one, we're calling out different names. Same fight, we still heal, we still fight. Lean in, hear how truth sounds. Turn it up.
Oh, yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the most inspirational black female show of the week. I'm Speaking Now. We read hit segments from the hit book, I'm Speaking Now. Black women share their truth in 101 stories of love, courage, and hope. What will it be today? Mostly love, mostly courage, mostly hope. We shall see. For today's reading, I went to chapter 15. Now, as always, I only read a few words and hopefully find some. Some of them are just benign, not that fun. But this one looked like it might be good, so we're hopeful. We got 2 full pages and a half page. Now, I'm going to need some help, though. I have some very intelligent people in my audience. Then I have some people that aren't so bright. Wait, bugs. So I thought I would have some visual aids here today. So to start with, our author for tonight's section, of course, a powerful black woman as always. The author will be Yolanda Clark Jackson. Yolanda Clark Jackson. And the short essay is Sayings for Staying Safe. Now, who's Yolanda? Let's find out. Well, apparently it's under Clark instead of Jackson. Yolanda Clark Jackson is a writer, educator, and author of the award-winning children's book, Rocco's Big Launch. She holds an MFA in creative nonfiction from Converse College and an English degree from Morgan State University. She lives with and writes in South Florida and has a memoir in progress. I got to say, I'm very impressed at the credentials of all of our powerful black female authors. They all have like 10 degrees. Now, as always, we start off with an inspirational quote from a famous black woman. This one is, I was surrounded by extraordinary women in my life who taught me about quiet strength and dignity. And that, of course, that quote was from, that's right, you guessed it, Michelle Obama! Yay! There she is. Get him, Michelle. Of course, it doesn't get more inspirational. Oh my goodness, my cover's coming off. No! This is priceless. This is a priceless book. Thank you, Michelle. We're going high today. Let us begin this week's selection of I'm Speaking Now. Remember, is this a story of love, courage, hope? You tell us. Sayings for Staying Safe by Yolanda Clark Jackson. Every mother wants to keep her child safe, especially now. That's especially. What is this especially about 2021? Yeah, I know in 2018 I kind of wanted to keep my child safe, but 2021 now I really want to keep my child. Okay, lady. But a black mother's fear for her children is passed down through generations. Ah, yes. Of course. White mothers, my mom, her fear for me was just not multi-generational. It was just now. Because she's white, so she doesn't have the same capacity to care for or fear for something affecting my well-being. But black mothers, we know black mothers fear definitely multi-generational. That's why they choose good partners and stay together far more than mothers of other ethnicities, right? Like, I haven't checked the data lately, but I think, when it comes to black families, far less children put in. Oh, what's that? I'm being told. Oh, never mind. I'm sorry. I'll forget about that data and don't look into yourself. It's racist, I've been told. Anyways, a black mother knows she can't control the world her children will grow up in. What? Why is being black unique to that? As if white mothers are like, yes, I could control the world. Hispanic mothers, Asian no, okay. A black mother knows she can't control the world her children grow up in, so she needs to teach them how to navigate a world she knows will be especially unkind. Unkind by who? Who? I don't disagree. The world is unkind, true. It's important to give lessons to your children. Okay, great. But my guess is, as we proceed through this, she might have the wrong target. What are we guessing? It's going to be the police? Any other guesses? What's the real baddie? Who's the real baddie that's going to make her child unsafe? We got the police. That's right. Everyone but black people have the superpower to control the world. MAGA. Ooh, MAGA's a good guess. The whites. Oh, man. White males. Let's see. I don't want to tell her who's most likely to commit physical violence against her black children, but hey, when the queen's speaking, we listen. Sometimes the help comes in the form of love, and sometimes it comes in the form of fear. In my house, it was often a mix of both, with the scale tipping towards my mother's fears. Yes, we got the talk about not answering back to police, and be careful about what we said and did in front of white people. Well, for those of you who said police and white people, it's a tie. It was the same sentence that both were blamed. Now, I want to focus on this line particularly. We got the talk about not answering back to police. Now, wait a minute. Huh? That's like the meme where the really dumb person and then the middle intelligence person and then the really smart person and the dumb and smart person have the same answer. Yeah, actually not bad advice. You should say as little as possible to the police, right? True. And a very smart person will tell you that, right? But methinks that's not the direction they're going with it. I think they're probably like taking, don't answer back to the police like, fuck you! I don't have to tell you shit! Fuck you! You know, as body cams show us now. I thought the talk was, the way people said it, was always antithetical to see how it plays out. When I heard like black celebrities or black people that you see like on TV or online talk about the talk of black parents having to talk to their black children about interactions with police, I thought it was always like, be super polite because they might be out to get you. So don't give them a reason to be angry. Keep your hands on the steering wheel. Say, officer, is it okay if I reach for my license? Stuff like that. I didn't know. This is the first I've heard that the talk was not answering back to police. That's the first I've heard that. Excuse me, sir, is this your wallet? I was just asking if it's your wallet. I mean, ironically, from a lot of the videos I see, I think that many of these black children, if that's what the talk is, many of the black people I see in interactions with police oftentimes make the situation worse because they're not quiet. And so, I mean, in an odd way, I know I'm picking on this lady, but probably, and it would be a lesson I would tell my child, like, don't be acting a fool in front of the cops, right? Fucking, you might not have to say anything. Here's my license. Do what you have to do, but there are problems. Like, I can't, there's not a day goes by I'm not scrolling through X and I don't see some body cam footage of like, yeah, ma'am, you have a the one I saw today, you have a suspended license, ma'am. So can we see your license and registration? I'm calling 911. Fuck you. Get away from me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. No. And the cop's like, look, it's just a citation. Like, what are you doing? Get away. Get away. Then they put her in handcuffs. Stop touching me. And it's like, man, all she had to do was just give them the license and not say a word. So ironically, the just don't talk would be better. You know, it's always they're gonna like people are gonna yell and scream. And to be fair, I've seen videos of other people doing this. Here's my advice in dealing with the police. I know I'm not a black woman. As mentioned above, as a white parent, I can control the world. So my recommendation is to be white, and then you have superpowers where you can make sure that nothing ever happens to your child. But if you're not white, here's my advice, right? Remember this. You should say very little. You should give them very little to incriminate. But remember, you'll have your chance to fight this in court. And so being an asshole to the cop is never going to make the situation better. Now, being an asshole doesn't mean like, hey, all I got to do is show you, the briefest stuff to comply with your orders. I don't have to sit here and have a conversation. I don't have to incriminate myself. But I debated this guy, Vegan Gains, once. And it was about this particular incident where this guy died from cops for struggling. But it was black cops and a black guy. And this dude was like saying racism was to blame. So we had this debate on whether or not racism was to blame for this interaction. And it was one of the few debates that legitimately pissed me off. And you'll start to see a theme with me. I don't like it when people tell people to do things that will predictably cause significant harm to them. Vegan Gaines happens to be a black man, and he was basically saying, yeah, if you're black, run from the police if they try to pull you over. And I was like, don't say that. That's fucking, all joking aside, that's dumb, man. If people take that advice, they're going to get hurt. Like, you're making a self-fulfilling prophecy, and you see this all the time. right? Where it's like, you could just see, you'll see some of these interactions like this is going to end poorly because it just keeps escalating because one person can't just say, all right, whatever you got to do. If you have to charge me. I'm going to go fight it in court later. So, anyways, I didn't know that's what the talk was. Here we go. We got to talk about not answering back to police and being careful about what we said in front of white people. What is that about, by the way? What do they think they say in front of white people that's going to cause problems? Isn't this like an admission? What are they like? Hey, let's rob those white people. Oh shit, don't say that in front of white people. If we just keep that to ourselves in our black community, everyone's just like, what is it? What are you afraid you're going to say in front of white people? The truth is, you can say more in front of most white people as a black person. That's the real truth. You could be like, fuck you, bitch, I don't like your dress. And white people are so fucking paranoid now, they'll be like, oh, yeah, she's so free-spirited. But if you're a white dude and you said that, people would be like, what the hell did you just say? But whatever. She continues, but for my mother, the worst days for blacks were behind us. Okay. Racism and police brutality were not at the top of her list of concerns. Okay. Mom sounds based. My mother taught me to be on the lookout for anything or anyone who could hurt me. I believe in her mind, if you were careful, you could avoid being hurt or caught off guard. In order to do this, you had to be prepared for the worst case scenario. When I learned to drive, she told me, you have to learn to drive for yourself and the fool. Not everyone behind the wheel is paying attention. Great advice. Black grandma sounds based. That is true. I used to work at a bar and I would like close up shop at like midnight or 1 a.m. Like let's say Saturday night. And I had about a half hour to drive home. I was never drinking. I was always sober. Never drank behind the bar. You wouldn't believe the people you see out at night, like drunk as shit, crossing lanes. And that was always my fear. It doesn't matter how safe I am as a driver. If some lunatic's coming down the other lane and is drunk, or a deer runs out in the road and they swerve to me, like that's how quick it could end. So it definitely is good advice that you have to remember, no matter how good of a driver you think you are, you want to be alert. That's why I think you see so much shit with people like on their texting and shit. It's so bad because, yeah, what the fuck? What's this, some PSA? You get it. Anyways, because my mom was born in the South and was a sharecropper's daughter, most of the sayings my siblings and I heard in our home in New England came from her upbringing in Mississippi. Okie dokie. During my adolescent years, my mom's sayings were like parables designed to protect me from social pitfalls. For her, protecting your reputation was just as important as practicing good hygiene. Okay? You didn't want anyone saying you smelled bad. You didn't want to be embarrassed by saying something you could have kept to yourself, especially if Mad Day came along. Well, we'll get to Mad Day in a second, but yeah, sort of. I think advice more for today than ever before, the idea of not embarrassing yourself, because with social media, I've talked about this before. Used to be, you go to the bar, you say something stupid, within 2 weeks, everyone forgets. Now you put it up on social media, and 5 years from now, you're applying for a job, and there it is. So, okay, anyways. What is Mad Day? That's the day when someone gets so upset they try to hurt you by throwing your weaknesses or secrets back in your face. Pretty much every day is a right-winger with lefties. According to my mother, Mad Day will come after you fall out with your friend or a family member. Then you'll likely see a totally different side of that person who you thought was incapable of hurting you. I'll only translate this to say in the days of social media, this is why you got to be careful with text messages and DMs. I pretty much assume every DM or text message I ever send will eventually be made public, even if it's to your best friend. So you just live with the consequences. You don't send anything that you would be super uncomfortable with ever being broadcast to the world, because that's the nature of the world we live in. Anyways, again, grandma sounds based. Doesn't sound like grandma was like, white people are out to get you, the cops are out to get you. She's like, don't embarrass yourself. Be a respectable person. Sounds good. My mother was a big proponent of see and don't see. This means you don't have to acknowledge everything you see, especially if it's none of your business. Yes! She wanted to make sure we knew how to keep our mouths shut and keep it moving. She didn't want us to get embroiled in other people's problems. Quote, beware of a person who brings a bone and carries a bone. This means if someone brings you a piece of gossip, they will most likely take what you say to go gossip someplace else. Sure. I was told this when I reached middle school. I passed this on to my daughter when she reached the same age to keep her out of the gossip loop. Okay. Not good for a YouTube career. Gossip's good for a YouTube career, but sure. She taught us to stay quiet when other people were gossiping. Look, I know we have fun here. I'm sort of bummed out. So far, this is pretty based. I think a lot of the problems you see, quite honestly, with a lot of black women in social media and stuff is they're inserting themselves in everything. They're always entitled, it seems like, and fucking just yelling and screaming. So a grandma that's like, yeah, keep your fucking mouth shut, stay out of business as it isn't yours, go about your day, try not to be an embarrassment, it'll stay with you. I think it's all great. This grandma's got it. Doing great. Just ought to stay quiet when other people are gossiping. If you remember to keep your name out of other people's mouths when they carried away the juicy bone of gossip, your name would not be on it. There you go. You never give someone a stick to crack your head with. This means don't get anyone information that could be weaponized against you later. They would also avoid giving someone else said stick to be used against a family member or friend. Right. Once I complained to my mother that a friend shared something I said in private with someone else and hurt their feelings. She looked at me, shook her head, and said, "You gave her the stick." She thought she'd tell me. Yeah. Keeping yourself and others safe from judgment meant that you kept quiet about certain things. And you somehow always knew what those certain things were. She explained, some things are between you and God. You didn't confess your indiscretions to anyone besides God. No one needs to know everything about you or your past, she added, and then wondered how many secrets my mother had buried. Dude, this chick's mom sounds fucking awesome. That's one of the things I'm always complaining about. Like, in my grandpa's day and age, it was to a fault. I'm not saying this is exactly like, you could, like, get diagnosed with cancer and your wife die in a car wreck, and you'd still be at work the next day, and they'd be like, how's everything going? You'd be like, fine. Like, no one shared info like that about their personal shit, right? I'm not saying you shouldn't be a little more open than that, but now it's like, I even see it on, like, I don't use Facebook anymore, but that's where, like, all the people, like my cousins and shit, or the people in my town, they'll communicate, and you see that shit everywhere, right? Oh, me and my boyfriend had a fight last night, and now, you know, he said he's going back with his ex. It's like, who the fuck is saying this shit? Like, just airing their dirty laundry out for the world to see. It's just so dumb. Or you won't believe it, I got diagnosed with this illness. It's like, okay, what are you doing? You're sharing that to the world? That's something I think's great advice. Like, yeah, it's gossip and it's bullshit, but man, why are you airing your dirty laundry for everyone to see? Just keep it to yourself. It's like that person you have that's like, you know, you'll run into him like every 4 or 5 months. Hey, how's it going? The answer is not bad. That's the answer. Oh, actually, it's really bad. Well, first off, you know, my boyfriend, you wouldn't believe. It's like, oh, fuck. I was just trying to get in for a gallon of milk. Fuck. It's the worst. Especially as a guy. If you're a guy, you know, why are we not men shit his pants? We are good to hear that. Thank you for that. I wondered how many secrets my mother had buried. There were often similar warnings given against trusting anyone completely with all your secrets or personal details. Don't put anyone totally in your bosom, she asked. We were to take precautions with even the closest friendships to avoid being betrayed. Take it to your grave was often said to protect someone's sensitive information that was passed on but should never be repeated. You are never to tell a secret that could jeopardize someone's livelihood, marriage, or reputation in the family. Okay. I'm kind of bummed out. I was hoping for some shit to laugh at. My mom lived in a different time and oh, here we go. Maybe the daughter here's got a change of heart. My mom lived in a different time in a different world, and the wisdom and urgency in her words made me pay attention. I internalized them and used them as a code to live by. She did what she could to keep me safe. Yet, I hadn't realized until recently. Uh-oh, here we go. Why it's so difficult for me to trust people, and why it was always easy to stay quiet when others shared. Okay. I could keep a secret, and I was always on the lookout for signs of betrayal, bracing myself for what I might discover on Mad Day. Even though I'd passed down most of these sayings to my daughter, she doesn't carry the weight of them. She is now in her 20s and not as careful in her relationships as I once was. She doesn't care as much about what people think of her and rarely takes things personally. She lives more fearlessly than I did because she lives in a different world, and I'm glad. I don't want her to be a fool on the roads of life or in the relationships. I don't want her to be a fool on the roads of life or in her relationships, but I don't want her to be on guard so much that it takes away her ability to love with a whole heart. I want to keep her safe, but I also want to make her own decisions and chances she takes. I want her to know it's okay to trust those that earn it, and that since the beginning, safety's always been an illusion. Mad days will come, but I want her to fully enjoy all of her good days ahead. I feel like I failed you. I saw, that's it. I saw the part about giving the talk, and I was like, oh, this will be good. But that was the only, woke shit in there. The rest of it was pretty reasonable, I think. Her daughter's dating a white man. Twist! He's a cop! Well. You know who likes that? Mr. President, what are your feelings on that? Yes, there he is. Obama liked that one. It says, the fact is, I feel more loose and relaxed than ever. I'm not shitting. This is those Joe Biden shoulder massages, they're like magic. You should try one. Oh, you have. What the fuck? Yeah! Yeah! Those fucking Joe Biden shoulder massages, Mr. President. He's practicing on you and then taking his fucking business to 8-year-olds in front of the cameras. What the fuck are you doing? I gotta be careful. I don't think this says anything that'll get me in trouble. One of my all-time favorite Obama videos. Enjoy.
Obama and Larry Sinclair had a steaming love affair. Obama and Larry Sinclair had a steamy love affair. Larry looked into the eyes of Obama, the Mac Daddy, and they put a spell on Obama, the Mac Daddy. Obama said to Larry, oh, you're just my style and my kind. Oh, you look like just what I want, my man, woman, and half whatever look to look like. Oh, yes, oh, yes, oh, yes. Obama and Larry Sinclair had a steamy love affair in the back of a limo, and then at the Holiday Inn, they had a steaming love affair.
It's an all-timer. What do you think of that, Obama? Obama, how do you respond to these allegations? He's pleased. Obama and Larry Sinclair had a steamy love affair. That dude's hilarious. He's like Uncle Ruckus from the Boondocks personified. Oh, man. Good stuff. Oh, there you have it. I'm speaking now. We're not even to the goal yet. How am I going to afford more upbeat, inspirational black content and books? Mangozi gives 10 over and Rumble says bail money or a small step towards the whip song. Why, thank you. We shall take it. And then we got Brennan Bell, $10 says more money when the rest of my Bibby checks come through. I'll hold you to it. Thank you. Joseph Romano, another 10. Thank you so much, man. And becomes a member for 15 months. Says 15 months of blessings. Thanks, Rob. Thank you. And thank you for the typo of blessings. We appreciate it. More celery, $2 says, we're super chatting now. Damn right. Caleb, 12 months, a full year, says Rob killing it right now. Smash that like, yo. Thank you, Caleb. Intel Wild, $10 says, Rob, once you've read all the powerful thoughts from this book, we need to find the sequel book. I'm speaking now. When we was Kangs. I'm sure it exists. Joseph, another 10. Thank you, man. Balder Azergard gives 50 somethings. Thank you so much. Sear Sight with $5 says, good evening, Rob. Good evening to you. And another 50 somethings from Balder Azergard. Thank you so much. And Wade Boggs gives us $10 for a goal. Oh, thank you. Can anyone explain the quartering situation to me? I want an unbiased, purely descriptive summary of what happened. I have no clue. I just see people, like, I basically, the only thing I saw that I could sink my teeth into was that he was doing these shorts. I don't think this is the thrust of the complaint. But what I saw was he was doing these shorts where he'd just be like, you're not going to believe this clip. And then he would just play someone else's, like, TikTok video and would get, like, 100,000 views on it. Or it would be like, boy, when people say, watch where you're walking, they really mean it. And then he'd play a clip. But that's, I don't know. Crank it to go to 1,357. No. But that's all I can figure. So I don't know if someone else knows what's going on. And we're not ending the show yet, but I will say this. Tomorrow, I thought about covering it tonight instead of the Nick and Lauren Southern stuff. Tomorrow we're going to talk about the Democrats' unhinged proposals to pack the courts, to remove people from the Virginia court, etc. Unforcego says, Quartering has been flagging channels down using his YouTube rep to get channels banned. That's out of his own mouth, by the way. I'm unaware of that, but okay. I could see how that would piss people off. It's over mass flagging. Okay. There you go. I don't know anything about it. Mass flagging, if true, is shitty. That shit pisses me off. Look, let's be honest. I don't talk about it a lot. Some of you out there, I know what you do. We got some police officers. We got some people that are welders, some truck drivers, whatever. Anyone, let's shout out. If you're employed, give us your job. Doesn't have to be super specific. Let's hear it. What's your job? A machinist? There's a fucking man's job. Disassemble? That's not a job. Housekeeping? Bank? Self-employed? Electrical engineer? Contractor? Miner? Torque specialist? Says the torque doctor. Nice. Graphic artist? Nurse? HVAC? Title examiner? Sandblaster? Construction? Gamer? Average gamer. Ranch hand? Rodeo clown? Business? First off, good for you all. It's great. It's awesome. Good for you all. But that's like pussy shit. If you want a real physically demanding job, try streamer. That's fucking... You guys, what are you doing? I wake up at 5 a.m. and have to go out in the harsh weather and do shit with my hands, or I got to be really intelligent. Think of me. I sleep in till like 10 or 11, then I wake up. Sometimes when I wake up, I have to pee. That's no picnic. That sucks. And then, by about 3 or 4, after I play some video games and shit, I'll be like, oh, I suppose I should think of something for the show tonight. That's brutal. Try that. How would you like that? Having to think of an idea to talk about. Then you got to talk about it. And then on top of it all, you got to sit here at the end of the night and play these stupid fucking whip songs. So you guys all have it easy. So imagine on top of that, if you have assholes mass flagging your channel and trying to get shit taken down. It's already probably the hardest job in the world. So you could really imagine. So I thank you. I know. Everybody acknowledges how difficult my job is. Yamigo says, Kino Casino makes buku bucks making fun of their target's old school shitpost style. And they do so show after show after show after show after show. They highlight Jeremy's drama and awkward behavior. I think I've never interacted with them basically, but I've always thought the Kino Casino guys seem kind of funny. This is not the account. You are, okay. $5 says, what, Rob? Are you not for the Free Nation of Memphis, Tennessee? I don't know. Is there a separatist movement? Now, I'll tell you, here's a harebrained scheme I had. I wouldn't do it. But, well, I could be talked into doing this. It would take a lot of time. So some of these people you see, like Turkey Tom or these other people, I'm not super familiar with any of them, but there are people that do like just YouTube videos that are like the collapse of this streamer or the controversy of this streamer. Oh, Memphis rap, I got you. So, and a lot of times it's put together quite well, like it's edited well and everything. So you'd have to keep up with that. You'd have to be at least that quality of those channels that do this. But what would you guys think of a channel that was intentionally contrarian and was like picked out, particularly online figures, but wouldn't have to be exclusively, that everybody hates and made the case for defending them? Like, I'm going to defend Darkside Phil. I'm going to defend the quartering. You know what I mean? Like these channels that have, now obviously there's a limit. You know, if someone became a serial killer or something, maybe you don't. But with like a lot of this low level drama, because there's a lot of people that are doing, we're just going to fucking point out how this guy's a shithead. So surely there's a market for the other end of it, right? For someone like, we're going to defend. The YouTubers that it's been agreed are shitheads and have all but lost their, you know, their audience. We're going to defend them. I don't think Alan Dershowitz is in that boat necessarily. Yeah, defending pigs will get you money. Yeah, but dude, it's YouTube. People do anything for a buck. Lux for $20 says, keep up the good work, Rob. I still think Brian Shapiro does not know what suffrage is. No one will ever convince me otherwise. I think you're right. I definitely think that's true. Gordon covered his audience builds during COVID, so he said. Please highlight normal America. Shitball. I should do a hit. That's what I should do. I should do a hit piece on myself. There's plenty of material. People think that streamer robnoerr is a base conservative. He talks about how he was a good debater in college. He pretends that he's a wholesome family man who cares about his wife, dog, and daughter. But did you know he's really a fat piece of shit? Today we'll look into the dark side of robnoerr, an unnormal American. We'll have Black Elk come up with, put a song up. We should do that. That's not a bad idea for a project. I might as well get in on those hater dollars, right? That's right. He didn't know about the power of the panel first. If someone's going to make a fucking hit piece on me, it might as well be me. Who knows me better and what a piece of shit I am? Who knows better than me? My whole life I've been a piece of shit. I know things that would blow your mind about what a piece of shit I am. Why not? Throw it out there. Monetize that shit. I do not know how to get the battery out of a Steam Deck. Pretty smart, right? Of course, my other idea that I need to do, it's only good for one joke. Do you know React streamers? So there'll be like streamers. There'll be like entire channels. It'll be like a black man or woman. And the whole theme of the channel, like every video will be like this, like, black people react to hearing Kiss for the first time. And they're just like, oh, wow, it's so bad, you know? But a lot of times it's like, you know, modern drummers react to hearing, you know, 1950s drummer for the first time. So I wanted to do that. I'm a professional reactor and I'm reacting to reactors. See, I'm just taking it one step further. So I'd be like, hey, my name's robnoerr. I've been sitting on my ass and watching shit for the majority of my life. You wouldn't believe the reactions I've had to things. Sort of consider myself a professional reactor. And today we're going to be reacting to other people reacting to things. You know, it's like, all right, this clip here, what do we have? A jazz drummer reacting to a death metal drummer. Oh, now see how his eyebrow raised there? That's very good. When you're reacting to something, you want your eyebrow to peak a little. It really shows to the audience. That's very interesting. I hadn't seen that. That's very good. You know? Oh, and here he's got a smile. You see that? See how he's sort of talking about what he's seeing? Very good. It's very good. You know? I had that idea. I don't know that channel would have longevity. Bliss says that already exists, sadly. Well, there you go. Someone beat me to the punch. Damn. Sounded like a good idea. Jason Mulgren, $5, says, have you seen Brian Shapiro go after Warren Smith during his syndicated radio show over his YouTube titles? Worth every penny. No, I haven't seen that. He's a syndicated. What is that? Wait, what are we doing? How am I? What's that? A Brian Shapiro reference?
He women in messages, has a weird infatuation with men's organs. He's a syndicated radio host, and it's all about respect. He's Brian Shapiro.
Oh, Brian Shapiro. What are you doing? Well, Penisgate continues, obviously. Now, Brian Shapiro. Now, recently saw a streamer react to Blow State reacting to Sarah, who is reacting to Blow State, reacting to a stream of Sarah and Blow State arguing. I've certainly been guilty of reacting to someone reacting to something like covering a debate. I've done that. Character holding $5 over on Rumble. Thank you, says. I hear Ron Noor gets solicited to expose himself to syndicated radio hosts. What? Yeah, Cool Vic always does a good job covering that shit. I'll have to check it out. Good night, Joseph Mullins. By the way, if you're still there, Joseph Mullins, do I know you from real life? Did you used to hang out in Indiana University of Pennsylvania, say 22 years ago? You don't have to say if you did. Yeah, Cool Vic's a good guy, man. Hit that grift. Why not? All right. Well, it's that time of night, folks. I could cheat and wait for someone to send $10 more and then say it, but I'm a man of character and morals. So, my show's, I have excellent content. Speaking up for black women or leaving them speak. Debates, politics, scathing cultural critiques, all this, you know. Unfortunately, my shitbag audience has hijacked my channel. So in a weird compromise with them, we've decided to put this off to the end of every show. You see, here's the lore, if you've ever wondered. There's this song from this old Lord of the Rings cartoon where there's a whip, there's a way. I thought it'd be funny to like play that song to be like, oh, I'm whipping my audience to donate money. It's spun out of control. We've made different versions of the song. So now any one-time $100 donation, at the end of the show, we spin the stupid wheel with all the songs and we play that song. I hate it. 90% of the audience hates it. But the few people that do like it donate considerably to the channel. And I like money. So I'm a dancing monkey up here playing these shit-ass songs, making me depressed at the end of the night, no matter how good the show was, in order to amuse the handful of people that want to spend their hard-earned dollars tormenting me. And here we find ourselves. Now, as you all leave that don't want to be part of this, I remind you I'll be streaming around 10 p.m. tomorrow. So we'll see you all then. I promise. Yeah, I'm Mr. Krabs. I like money. Yeah. But for the rest of you maniacs, so we just crossed the $400 barrier, which will count for one. And then in addition to that, we have 1, 2, 3. 3. All right. So that's 4 total. 4 total that we'll owe. Now, Mangozy, $10 over on Rumble. Thank you so much. He says, huh? Yeah, that's how I feel. Huh? If you donate a $100 donation right now, that'll play a whip song wheel. And it would play a second one because the next rule is anytime you go over an even $100 number once we start the game, in this case 500 would be the next, that also spins a wheel. So, $85 donation right now would get us $500. That would be a whip spin. A $100 donation would get us over 500, which is a spin, plus another spin for the $100. Of course, if you want to create your own song in a theme you want, it has to be the whip song lyrics, unfortunately. But whatever theme you want, that's $200. Or you can pick a specific one by donating $150. Chop chop, $10. Thank you. Much appreciated. Stangus, $5. Is any truth of the rumor that I'm starting that Brian Chaprio is writing an Obama book titled Mike? Show me your. I don't know. I've heard there's a rumor out there, but that's all I know. Lost Avarice, $10. Oh, it was late. Says, did someone say $10 whip? They did. What's up, Avarice? All right. Play the stupid song. See you later, half the audience that leaves. Here we go. Find ourselves here again. I feel like a jailer and a person in prison for a life sentence. Like, I'm in the jail. I'm in the prisoner. And you guys are the jailers. But after like 20 years, you're both sort of in it together. In a way, you're both victims of the same jail. That's how I feel. The people that stick around at me, we're all suffering. No one's really enjoying it. We're just relishing the other's suffering. That's it. Ah, thank you so much, Mary. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, Brega Funk. I don't remember. Let's see it. Let's do it.
But that's a whip, that's a whip. But that's a whip, that's a whip. We don't wanna go to war today, but the Lord of the lashes say nay, nay, nay. We're gonna march all day, all day, all day. But there's a whip, there's a way. But there's a whip, there's a way. But there's a whip, there's a way. Why that, why that, why that, why that, that's a whip. Why that, why that, why that, why that. Well, there's a whip, why that, 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 why that. and night and more. For we are the slaves of the dark Lord's war. Jump over shot that, but, woo! Sherman mash you and on messing. Why, where them so weird? Why, where them so weird? Why, for we are the street.
Wow, what a great song. 3 more. Now listen, I know I wanted to get to 200% of the goal tonight just to feed my powerful black women speaking book addiction. But I gotta be honest, it would also be nice to get out of here with only 4 whip songs as well. So either way, I'll win. I don't think you got the chutzpah tonight, is what I think. Oh, not Yacht Rock. It's good, but it's long. I mean, none of them are good, but... Alright. This one's long, too. Shit!
Where there's a whip, there's a way. Where there's a whip, there's a way. We don't wanna go to war today, but the Lord of the lashes, nay, nay, nay. We're gonna march all day, all day, all day. Where there's a whip, there's a way. Where there's a way, there's a way. Where there's a way, there's a way. Where there's a way, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Where there's a way, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Where there's a way, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Crack on the back says we're gonna fight. We're gonna march all day and night and more. We are the slaves of the dark Lord's war. Where there's a whip, there's a way. Where there's a whip, there's a way. Where there's a whip, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. There's a whip, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Where there's a whip, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, way.
I feel like this could have ended a minute ago, and no one would have been upset.
Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, run day. Where there's a way, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. There's a way, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Where there's a way, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, run away.
I owed 2 more, but Blaster Butt, $100. It's like, thank you, Blaster Butt. Legend says, wait, Rob needs help with his addiction? I got you. Mine is Dino. Such as Afro Venator. No way that's real. Which disappointingly did not have an afro. It was a cool theropod found in the Sahara region of Niger. Thank you so much. Thank you, Blaster Butt. That is 4 whips. Yeah, it's 4 more now. At least Plasterpod gives me some dino facts with the shaming of the whip songs. I know people are like, oh, the Wolf Jazz, oh, the Disney one, and they're pleased with that. But does anyone actually get excited like when one comes up now and they're like, oh, yeah, that's good? Another long one. Just go on too long. They're all too long. Chop Chop, what's up, my man? Member for 6 months. It feels longer than 6 months. It does, man. Thank you. Really appreciate it. All right, 3 more. Stupid shit. Okay. Wow, that sounds cool. Whoever came up with this one was really cool.
There's a way, there's a way, there's a way, there's a way, there's a way. There's a way, there's a way. We don't wanna go to war today, but the Lord of the Lash says nay, nay, nay. We're gonna march all day, all day, all day, all day. There's a whip, there's a way.
2 more. The worst is when it sounds like it's ending, and I'm not looking at the timer, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's it. And then it...
Where there's a whip, where there's a way, where there's a whip, where there's a way, where there's a whip, there's a way, where there's a whip, why left? Where there's a whip, there's a way. Where there's a whip, there's a way. We don't wanna go to war today, but the Lord of the Last says nay, nay, nay. We gotta march all day, all day, all day. Where there's a whip, there's a way. Where there's a whip, there's a way. Where there's a whip, there's a way. Where there's a whip, right, left, right, left. Well, there's a web, right, left, right, right. One of the back says we're gonna fight, we're gonna march all day and night and marvel. We are the slaves of the dark Lord's war. There's a will, with a will, with a will. There's a way. There's a will, with a will, with a will. There's a way. Whoa, it's a whip, right, left, right, left. But there's a whip, right, left, right. Where there's I. Crack my gun, amazing, gonna fight back of that. We're gonna march all day and night and more, for we are the slaves of the dark Lord's war.
Hey, $2 says, God bless Rankin and Bass. Yes! I'm a big Heat Miser, Cold Miser fan. Last one! Nice to get out mercifully. Oh, Witch House. Great. Crowd didn't have it tonight. That's fine by me. Oh, yeah! No! Just create the song. Stop forward with wheels.
We don't wanna go to war.
Oh! Fuck! Thank you, Chop Chop. $100 says, I could have gotten this whip cheaper at Ollie's. Show me your dono bar. Rob! Chop Chop. That's 2 more. No, if you donate the 200, you get to create the song. There's 2 versions. We play it, you pick the version, and fuck! Then it plays 2 for crossing $200 barriers. Blasterbot, thank you, man. $100 says Giraffe Fashion. Giraffe Titan, meaning Titanic giraffe, is the genus of sauropod dinosaurs that lived during the late Jurassic period. Cretaceous and Tithonian stages in what is now the Lindi region of Tanzania. Here you go, Rob, for your addiction. Well, we did meet the goal of 200%. Yes, that's fine. 4 more. Motherfucker.
Whip. There's a way where there's a whip. There's a way. We don't want to go to war today, but the Lord of the Lash says,
This is so bad.
nay, 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 we're gonna march all day. All day, all day. Where there's a will, there's a way. Where there's a way, there's a way. A crack on the back says we're gonna fight. We're gonna march all day and night and more. For we are the slaves of the Dark Lord's war.
Three more. At least this is a song, I guess.
Where there's a whip, there's a way. Where there's a whip, there's a way. a whip, left, right, left, right, left, right, left away. Where there's a whip, left, right. A crack on the back says we are gonna fight. We're gonna march all day and night and more. For we are the slaves of the Dark Lord's war.
Oh, happy birthday, Marcella, if it's your birthday. 2 more. Thank you. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. I feel like being a good whip streamer qualifies me for these reparations debates. All right. Hungarian war pigeons. Great. More stupidity. Whee. Oh, whoa.
Where there's a whip,
Yeah.
there's a way. Where there's a whip, there's a way. We don't wanna go to war today, but the Lord of the Lash says nay, nay, nay. We're gonna march all day, all day, all day. Where there's a whip, there's a way. 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 Left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Where there's a whip, there's a way. Left, right, right. A crack on the back says we're gonna fight. We're gonna march all day and night and more for we are the slaves of the Dark Lord's war. For we are the slaves of the Dark Lord's war.
I believe this is the last stupid ass whip song of the night. Here we go. Let's make it a nice quick one that's not the dumbest shit ever. Wouldn't that be a nice way to cap off the night? Not the dumbest ever? Alright, that'll qualify. I don't think this one's too bad.
There's a whip, there's a way. Where there's a whip, there's a way. We don't want to go to war today, but the Lord of the Lash says nay, nay, nay. We're gonna march all day, all day, all day. Where there's a whip, there's a way.
Are we all happy we did it? We few that have made it. We are $73 away from the nearest whip song. I only have one dance, really. I was showing my son today. I've had the same dance for 30 years. We'll say 25 years. Ready? Here it is. This is the only dance you ever need, no matter what genre of music. You ready? That's it. No movement, just the arms. That's it. That'll get you through any time you need to dance. Slow dancing. Get some trap music. I assure you. That's it. It's the only move you need. Yeah, it's a little similar to Trump dance. I've been doing it before that. Maybe Trump cribbed his dance off me. Who said another whip song for reaching 200%? That was one day. This is what I'm saying. This is why sometimes I'll be like, oh, I'll give people a free whip song. This is why you can't do it, because these fucking vultures. Remember exactly 17 days ago and 13 hours when you said that one night you got to 200% and that was a free whip song? Remember that? Remember that one time? Now that means that's... No! That's not in the bylaws. Bullshit. That's bullshit. And $1,000, there's a Disney song. Nothing at 200%. Nothing at 200%. Just at 1,000. But we ain't at 1,000, so I don't have to play the Disney song. Apparently there was a roast of Kevin Hart tonight. Looks like there was some funny stuff. And also controversial stuff said. Oh boy. Oh boy. There will be no whipperations. No. A whip bylaw book? That's not a bad idea. So my wife, we were going to buy like 10 copies of this. There were like 10 copies at that Ollie's. And I was going to buy them and then at DebateCon autograph them and sell. You could have your own copy, your own autographed copy of I'm Speaking Now. But I didn't do it. I thought it'd be too weird. I didn't want them to be like, sir, you can only buy up to 5 copies of one book at a time. There will be no whipperations this fine evening. It was a fun day. We were all speaking now. We all did that. We got our share of whip songs in. It was fun. But I believe it's time to go gently into the good night. So tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern or thereabouts. And then Tuesday, we'll be doing the 10 p.m. show. But we're also going to try to bring back the call-in show. So I'll have more instructions on that tomorrow. Anything else? Anyone else got? I shut it down too fast. We're not shut down yet. If people want to donate money, fine. I've given plenty of opportunity. Yeah, whip payments, only super chat. Yeah. Now I'm being accused of being ethnically Jewish. My goodness. Ethnically Jewish? I don't even know. I might as well be ethnically Jewish, or I may well be. I don't fucking know. I think the highest portion of any ethnicity is Italian. I think my dad's like roughly 50% Italian, but I think there's German and Irish. And like I've told you guys before, my dad's mom was convinced she was part Blackfoot Indian, but I don't know that that's true. I just don't give a shit, and I don't plan on ever fucking taking a genetic test, so. I'm just redneck from rural Pennsylvania. That's where my dad was from, and that's where my grandpa was from, and that's that, as far as I know. Other than that, I don't much give a shit. You know. You can take it to the Court of Appeals. Ask Ryan Mullally the next time you see him. All this time bitching about one free whip song, y'all could have went out and got a job for 15 minutes, did some Uber Eats or some shit, then came back, piled your money, and paid for another whip song. You could have did that. Instead, you complained. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Socialism. Free shit. No. We ain't about that here. I talk with my hand. Do I do the bird? Yeah. I'm doing very good. Thanks. You're never over. I'm enjoying life. You want the? I want to be able to use my whip songs to buy sodas and candy. Now, it's a new whip administration around here. We ain't fucking around anymore. Oh! I'll sell a foot pick for 2 whip songs, Rob. Let's do a recap. Okay. We talked a little about Nick Fuentes, wasn't that important. Talked a little about Lauren Southern, wasn't that important. We heard from a powerful black female speaker, and we played a bunch of dumb whip songs. There you go. We just caught you up. That is right. When God's on your side, life is good. It has been very good to me. Chop Chop, I almost missed this. Says, Rob, have Mr. Black and Mr. White make a cartoon music video of Wolf Jazz with Brian Shapiro performing it. Pretty please. No, that's too weird. That's too in the weeds. Do I wear flip-flops in the summer? I have. I prefer the, like, I don't know, what do you call them? Like the sandals that just, like, go over your foot like this. That's my preferred. But I could wear a pair of flip-flops. But I'm a big sandals guy in the summer, yeah. Community Whip, we are $73 away from. Slides. There you go. Play Elden Ring. Crocs. Nah, I've never been a Crocs man. My son loves the Crocs. He's a big Crocs man, but not me. Just, I don't know. If I'm going to be a fat, lazy guy wearing a fake shoe, then it's going to be like a sandal or something. Crocs halfway in between. What's the point? You might as well just wear a regular fucking shoe. As far as I'm concerned. Anything exciting going on in the world? We'll have a lot of stuff to talk about tomorrow. It'll be fun. Whip Crocs. First time Crocs were on screen was Idiocracy. Is that true? No. I wear real shoes when I'm on the zero turn. That's man's business. I just tell my wife is not a big fan of snakes, and we got like maybe a quarter of an acre, maybe half an acre. So my guess is from my back door to we have I wouldn't even call it a wood line. It's literally just a row of trees, and then I have a neighbor behind it. But there's a row of trees with like some bushes and stuff. Probably 50 yards from our back door to there. So I was mowing back there the other day, and maybe a 2.5-foot black snake like ran into those woods from our yard. And if I told my wife that, she would want to move. She fucking hates snakes that bad. I'm like, it happens. We live near the woods. There are snakes. And then my son was like, Dad, what would you do if you were mowing and there was a poisonous snake? And I was like, well, I'd probably get away from it and then try to come in and get something to grab it and move it out of the way if it was like in the yard. And he's like, I think a snake would beat you up. I was like, do you think your dad's tough? He's like, no. I was like, ugh. So there you go. Oh, Piano Dean, what's up, my man? Good to hear from you. $5 says, hey, Rob, I'm visiting 91-year-old Piano Mom. I tell Rob North says, happy Mother's Day to Piano Dean, to your mother. Happy Mother's Day. Nothing better than having a great mom and telling her how much you appreciate her. That's awesome, Piano Dean. Absolutely tell her. Amazing. I don't wear Crocs. I'll admit, I have put on a pair of Crocs for like 5 seconds for like, let the dog out. Like we're at the in-laws and there's a pair of Crocs there, slip them on. To, but no. Can I redo the stream? Yeah, man. I have magic powers where once I leave, you can just click play. Yeah, Mom Upside Down is well, true. All right, folks. I've stalled enough time. The whip crew is defeated. They've lost. They did good. We'll call it a tie. But I'm ready for bed. Just got the worst heartburn. We had tacos and enchiladas for dinner. It's catching up to me here. So I'll be back tomorrow. I think we're going to raid Mr. Bill this fine evening. Mr. Bill, you're going to love him. Well, I already told Mr. Bill I'd raid him. I saw that Teriyaki and Jay Dyer are both live. Yeah, poor Wade. Come on, Wade. Throw up another $1,000. Come on, Wade. You guys are incredibly generous. Thank you. I do appreciate it all. Tomorrow night, we have a good normal show for you on the Normal America Show. Should be a lot of fun. I want to thank my man Avarice, my editor Black Elk, all of my tremendous moderators doing a great job. Thank you to everyone who donated to me, everyone who's donated Whip Song dollars. Appreciate it. Although it's insane. Thank you. Thank you to everyone who liked, who subbed, who chatted, or just watched. Appreciate you all. We'll be back tomorrow evening. It should be a lot of fun. Now, Sniper's yelling at me. Sorry, Sniper. I'm going to hurry up and finish the outro, and then you won't have time to donate. Take a moment and just think, as we're having fun and we're celebrating Mother's Day and everything, just how bad things could get with political violence. You see the left becoming more unhinged as they lose court battles. Never forget the life of Charlie Kirk. And how they assassinated him, mocked his family. And now his daughters might have a mom, but they're never going to have a father. Just think about that and what the stakes are. So, think about that. Please say a prayer. And think of your great mothers today. Even if you didn't get along with them, everyone has some memory, hopefully, of just the importance of their mom. So, all right. Thanks so much, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow evening around 10 p.m. As always, everyone, have a good one.
Only in America is it possible to say, you know what, I don't like the way the country is going, and to do something about it. Take that risk. Take that leap of faith. Stay involved. Trust God and act obediently. Romans 12:2 verse. That God will use all things, for good for those who love him. It's bigger than you. I want you to remember that. It is bigger than you. It's bigger than me. You are here to make somebody else's life better, the pursuit of liberty and freedom. You know what gives me strength? The hundreds of thousands of you that say, Charlie, keep going.
1 Corinthians 5 and 15. So that's all pretty amazing evidence, not just intra-biblical evidence, but extra-biblical evidence that Jesus Christ was a real person. He lived a perfect life. He was crucified, died, and rose on the third day, and he is Lord and God of all.